So our online fair is starting in 2 minutes, and today we are going to have it in 2 languages. Sometimes our speakers will talk in English, sometimes in Russian. But anyway, you will have opportunity to watch videos with subtitles. We are going to record our today's meeting. And also, if you have further questions after our meeting, you can apply for individual meeting with representatives of schools and universities. So in 2 minutes, we are starting, and in chat, you can see the link where you can apply for the individual meeting with universities and schools. Перевожу на русский, да, сегодня мы иногда будем некоторые презентации слушать на английском, будет у вас замечательная возможность практиковать язык, некоторые презентации будут на русском проходить, но в любом случае будут записи сегодняшних встреч, и вы сможете посмотреть их с субтитрами. Записаться на индивидуальную консультацию, если у вас появились вопросы к представителю вуза или школы, вы сможете по ссылке, которую вы видите в чате. Now I'm very glad to introduce you our first speaker. That is Joel Vanson from Great Britain. He represents IQ Schools Group, and he is going to start with Middleton College. Joel, you're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. So am I able to begin now?
Yes, you can start. You have 25 minutes.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, as mentioned, my presentation is going to be in English this morning, so apologies for that if you were expecting Russian to begin with. The first school that I will begin to talk about is Middleton College. Middleton College is a co-educational boarding school which is located in the north of Wales. So as you can see from the map on my presentation, we are located around 1.5 hours away from Manchester. We are about 1 hour away from Liverpool and from Chester as well. So we are in perhaps quite an isolated location in terms of being in the countryside next to a small town of around 10,000 people. But we are still very well connected when it comes to international airports, larger cities. In terms of distance from London, we are around 3.5 to 4 hours driving. But we will still, as boarders join our school, there are still trips and excursions to London. So students that do come to the UK will still get an opportunity to see what it has to offer. My details are there if you would like to send me an email or give me a call. There's usually a video there, but we do not have videos today. So as I mentioned, Middleton College is a co-educational day and boarding school for students aged 7 up to 18. For international students, we allow students to arrive from the age of 11. This is the minimum age we have in our boarding houses. We have in our boarding houses students from around 25 different nationalities. So we are a British school. We have 75% British students, but the other 25% are from 25 different nationalities, including China and Southeast Asia, so in Hong Kong, Thailand, Vietnam, students from Africa, so Nigeria and Ghana, students from Europe, so all over Europe, Germany, Spain, Poland, Italy, France, Holland as well, and even from Central and Southern America as well. So we have students from Mexico and from Brazil as well. Some of the main features of our school: there is an outdoor adventure education program, which I'll explain in more detail later on. We have a wide range of sports academies, including football and tennis, which I'll go into as well. We have a brand new equestrian facility for horse riders. This has recently been opened, so earlier on this year. So again, I'll discuss that further. We have a 21st century learning mantra at the school, which again will be explained as I talk through the different elements of what's on offer at Middleton. and of course, excellent academic achievement. So Middleton's ethos, what do we want from our Middletonians? So this is made up of 3 different aspects: scholarship, fellowship, and resilience. So scholarship, of course, one of the main things when you come to school is a passion for learning and a passion for studying. Of course, this isn't the main part of the mantra of Middleton College. It is not just study 24/7 and have no time to develop your other skills and activities that you like to do. So scholarship is an integral part of our ethos, but it is not the main focus. This is not what we force on all students. There are other aspects to learning which creates an all-round education for a student. Fellowship is an opportunity to work with your fellow students, your fellow teachers, and even with the community around you. So Middleton often works with the community around them in the town of Denby, where it's located. They often take part in charity events. And in terms of fellowship around the school, we have just 280 students. So all the teachers know all the students know all the teachers. We have, in some cases, you know, students who are friends with each other across the different age ranges because it feels more like a family rather than a school. And in terms of resilience, as I've mentioned, we make sure that all students sort of pursue their goals and their achievements. And if there is any setback or if there is something that they need to learn from, this is what we build as well, these skills to be resilient and continue to go on to more success. So these 3 pillars make up the Middleton ethos, and this is what all Middletonian students will sort of believe in, and this is what they'll leave the school with, these 3 key elements. So in terms of the academic programs offered at Middleton College, we offer the British educational system. So this is, of course, A-levels and GCSEs as our examinations. GCSEs are for students aged 14 to 16, and we have around 18 different options for students to study. This, of course, for GCSEs, there are core subjects. So these are compulsory subjects that all students will study. So maths, English, and the sciences, biology, chemistry, and physics. We also offer A-levels, which is the last step of education before university. So this is age 16 to 18. We currently have around 19 different subject options, which I'll show you next. And students at A-level get the opportunity to choose the 4 subjects that they're most interested in, and of course the subjects that will help them to go on to apply for the university course that they would like to apply to. For students wishing to join for a shorter period of time, we have immersion programs available at the school. So students are able to join us for perhaps half a term, maybe 1 full term to a semester, or even 2 terms if they desire. So students can come and join us. They can take part in lessons alongside native English speakers. They can take part in all the boarding activities at the weekends and all of the extracurricular activities that are on offer. And this will give them a taste of what British boarding life is like. And, you know, 9 times out of 10, we find that students that join us on a short-term immersion program want to study for a longer period of time afterwards. So it's a great opportunity for students to get a feel of what it's like to study at a British boarding school. We will also have a summer camp. So our summer camp will take place next year in the middle of July through to August. The summer camp will be made up of 2-week sessions that will be a combination of the outdoor adventure education learning, which I will go into more detail in a second. And it will also have a combination of English practice for international students that wish to improve their English skills. And there will also be cultural excursions as well. So we'll plan to make a trip to London as part of the excursion as well. So it'll be a nice combination of life in a British boarding school, English practice, and this outdoor adventure education. And in terms of our results from our A-levels and GCSEs, 70% of our students achieved A star to A in the A-level results this year, which is way above the national average. And 91% of our students achieved A star to C equivalent in GCSEs. So the A-level options on offer, so these are the ones that students will choose independently. There are, of course, the traditional subjects of sciences, maths, English, humanities subjects, but we have some slightly more obscure choices, for example, marine science or creative digital media film production. So there are plenty of different options for students to choose and many routes they can take when they go on to apply for courses at university. And speaking of university, these are some of the university destinations that our students have gone on to study at. As you can see, all of these are excellent Russell Group universities, so the top 30 or 40 universities in the United Kingdom. In the past, we have also had students that have gone on to Oxford and Cambridge as well. Last year, no one applied to those two universities, but the universities that were chosen were still the best in the UK, so excellent university choices. So I mentioned 21st century learning earlier. So as you may see from the images on this presentation, we are a Microsoft Showcase school. And what this means is all of our lessons are delivered through a device. So all students will have a device, be it an iPad or a laptop, as you can see here. And when they are in lessons, they are completing their work on these devices. So to talk a little bit more about this, they use different aspects of the Microsoft system. So one part of that is Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is used in this system for students to access lesson recordings. So teachers can add lesson recordings to Microsoft Teams. So if a student needs to revisit the lesson, they may do so. On Microsoft Teams, they have a personalized timetable, so a student will be able to see where their lessons are, which classroom, and they can even get notifications to tell them in which classroom and at what time their next lesson is. For students that may not be at the school, perhaps they're in their home country, or if they're just not able to attend school for a particular reason, we are able to use the audio and video conferencing. So students are able to access lessons anywhere in the world at any time. So just an example of this, when the coronavirus pandemic began last year, lockdown was announced in the UK on a Sunday, and on Monday morning, all students at Middleton were able to access online lessons through our Microsoft system, so no one missed a lesson or any day of school during the pandemic, because we had this system in place already, which was incredibly fortunate for us. And of course, there is also individual and group messaging, so students can work on projects together, messaging through Teams, or teachers can provide feedback through this option as well. It's also a great opportunity for parents in their home countries. So parents, if you're remaining in Russia, for example, you can access this system as well. So you're able to log in and see, for example, the lessons that your child has, the homework that's been completed, and you can see the feedback that the teachers have given to your child. So you're able to keep up to date with your child's work and activities in a different country. So the lesson delivery is actually through a system called Microsoft OneNote. So this is essentially it's almost like a whiteboard that you'd have in a traditional classroom, but online. So teachers are able to use this to offer lessons. They plan all their lessons in the different sections of Microsoft OneNote. So there's a teachers area where they have all their resources. There is a student area where students have, textbooks, activities, and all their resources. And there is even a section where there is a collaborative workspace. So either students can work together as a group, or teachers can have a small kind of group and do an activity there. So activities are planned on OneNote, and they are all interactive. So students can, edit and write in their answers, as you can see from this picture here. For more humanities style subjects where there's a lot of writing, students will actually write on the device with a interactive pen. There are lessons that do include pen and paper. I've been asked this question before, but the majority of the work is completed on the device. OneNote also allows embedded audio and video, so teachers can add a video specific to the subject that they are studying, and this will make up part of the lesson where they will watch this video, and there will be questions and answers associated with what they've watched in the video. And there is also an example of a video to watch with a source and the questions following that. So this is a perfect opportunity to integrate technology into education. So students use this system from the beginning, age 7, all the way through to the age of 18. Excuse me. This means when they get to university, they're already well versed in using technology. It means that they are confident in using these different skills. And of course, we offer computer science as a GCSE and an A-level, so students are going on with a great technological advantage when they go on to university. Our teachers are all trained in using this as well. So this means that all teachers, there's no worries about how to use the system, no confusion. It is all well-trained. Microsoft staff train all of our teachers to use this. And it also means that students don't need to carry around lots of books, lots of textbooks, lots of pieces of paper that may potentially get lost. All of their work, all of their resources, all of their textbooks are within their device. So it is a great way to access a 21st century education. So I mentioned our sports academies. So just this year, so the beginning of the academic year in September, we introduced our tennis academy and our football academy. Our tennis academy is run by John Whitehall, who is a previous Welsh international tennis player, who offers a range of different intensities of academies. So there is a gold level for professional level students who are representing, the county, country, and this type of level. And there is also a slightly lower level, so a less intense one for students that wish to start at a lower level and increase their skills in the sport. Our football academy is run by APD, which is Advanced Player Development. This is a group that works with schools, helping students to obviously improve their football skills and go on to apply to larger football academies in the future. So APD have had students from their sessions go on to Arsenal's academy, to Rangers in Scotland, their football academy as well. So there have been quite large successes in APD's academy system and how they go on to play for larger football clubs in the future. As well as these, we also have our other elite sports academies that have been in place for a while. So we have, as mentioned, our equestrian centre. So this has been renovated and was opened earlier on this year. So we have a horse riding academy as well. So students that wish to take part in equestrian sports. We also have a group called Pony Stars. This is for students who not only wish to look after a horse, take care of a horse, but actually all of the skills surrounding it, how to manage the stables, how to make sure everything's tidy, the nutrition of a horse, all of the aspects that surround owning a horse. You can take part in this Pony Stars program, and students can actually receive qualifications from it for completing all the different elements of the program. And we also have a triathlon academy as well. So our students have been very successful in the triathlon academy. We've had students go on to represent not just the school, but Wales as a country and even the UK as well in triathlon. So we have elite specialist triathlon staff that come and train the students in the different aspects of triathlon as well. So a number of elite sports academies. Of course, for students not interested in particular sports academies, the school still offers a number of different sports that students take part in. So for example, rugby, netball, badminton, and the traditional sports that you would expect from a school. All of these are available. And outdoor adventure education. So I mentioned this at the beginning, one of the key aspects of our curriculum. So every 2 weeks, students up to the age of 16 will take part in outdoor adventure education. So one day every 2 weeks, they will go out into the countryside and they'll take part in outdoor activities. So as you can see from the images, they'll take part in hiking, in rock climbing, canoeing, whitewater rafting. They'll take part in more survival-based skills, so bushcraft, building a shelter correctly, how to build a fire correctly, all these different elements of outdoor adventure education. So students all the way from our youngest years will take part in these activities. It's a great opportunity for students to firstly leave the school environment and see the world around them. It gives them an opportunity to explore the national park. So Middleton College is located right next to Snowdonia National Park. So this means we're in the ideal location for outdoor adventure education. So this gives the students the opportunity to go out into the national park and see the sort of natural beauty surrounding them. It also develops skills that may not be learnt in the classroom. So taking part in these activities, of course, there is an element of risk. So one of the key features of the program is risk assessment. So students take part in the risk assessment and work out what they will need to do to make sure both themselves and their classmates are safe in the activities they're doing. It also builds team building skills, confidence, especially for students that may have skills in different aspects of life, and of course leadership skills as well. There is always someone from the group that likes to take responsibility for the group and build these leadership skills as well. So it's a great opportunity for students to learn skills that they may not have learned in the classroom, and it builds around this this idea of an all-round education. So it's not just learning skills through study, but skills through different activities, including outdoor education. Boarding and pastoral care. So our boarding houses are located within the school territory. So there are no parent or house stays. All of our students stay on our campus. Our boarding houses are split into two. We have George's house, which is for students age 11 up to 16. These are twin rooms with shared bathrooms. As you can see from the image below, there is a boarding space on the ground floor, which has TV, sofas, games console for students where they can relax. They also take part in different activities when they're down there. And yes, in the rooms, they have sort of their bed, study space, sink, wardrobe, everything they need really. There's also a kitchen space on each floor. So if the student wants to make a snack or a drink or something, there is that possibility as well. And then for the older students, age 16 to 18, there is a separate boarding house, just a couple of minutes walk away from the lower school boarding house. This gives them a bit more privacy, a bit more space. You know, as they go into A-levels, there's a lot more study, so they need a much quieter space. So they have a chance to be a bit more independent as they get older. All of the boarding houses are newly refurbished. So despite being traditional, almost Victorian age buildings, they are well renovated inside, and we allow stay during half-term holidays, so no exit weekend. Students are able to stay over the holidays should they wish to do so. I mentioned some of the extracurricular activities. Middleton College, this is just a handful of selected activities. Middleton College actually offers around 50 to 60 different extracurricular activities after school. So usually we sort of make sure that all students are taking part in at least one extracurricular activity from Monday to Thursday. Of course, there are the number of sports, the academies that they can take part in. There are also music, orchestra, and performing arts clubs that they can take part in that put on performances throughout the term and at the end of the year as well. Of course, music lessons for students that take part in or play a musical instrument. There are also slightly more academic extracurricular activities, so languages that they can take part in, or for example, a mindfulness type club, which allows students to meditate and allow them to, you know, take some of the stress out of study and just ground themselves. So there are lots of different options. This is just a handful. We're very democratic at Middleton College, so if there is a particular activity that students would like to take part in, we will do our best to make sure that students are able to take part in this. So if there is a group of students that wish to study Italian, for example, but we don't have an Italian club, we will find an Italian tutor that will be able to teach this club. So we are very open to suggestions from students who wish to do a particular activity. So how to apply in terms of the application process? Firstly, we will receive the documents. So if you're applying through JandS, then you will submit the documents to JandS and they'll pass them along to us. There is an entry test and an online interview. So the test is made up of mathematics, English, and science. We are a non-selective school, so this means that students their grade in this test will not affect their place to join Middleton College. It's simply a chance for us to understand their academic level at the moment and what support we can give to students. All of our international students receive English as an additional language support, so all students will have additional lessons as well as their subjects that they study to assist them in English practice. And if they need any assistance in any technical vocabulary, so for example in the sciences, as they get to A level, the science becomes more technical, more specific, and perhaps some of the vocabulary associated with it may be, you know, technical vocabulary that students may not have learned at school. So the English as an additional language support really does help students to naturalize their English and, of course, be able to understand clearly what they are studying. There is also an online interview, which will be with myself. So again, this is an opportunity for me to understand the students' level of English, ask them any questions about, you know, where they study now, what they would like to study in the future. And if the student has any questions for me, they're of course free to ask those questions as well. Following these steps, we are able to send out an offer for the student to join Middleton College. Of course, then there'll be a payment of the deposits. We will then provide the document, the CAS document, which is required to apply for a visa. And then, of course, I imagine JNS will be very happy to help with the visa process. There will be some registration documents to fill in and enrollment forms. And then once these are all completed, the student is able to arrive at the school. I believe that is, yes, the end of Middleton College. I don't know if there's any questions from anyone or if there's anything.
Igor is typing something. Let's wait a minute. Can I change the presentation, Joel?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
So we have a question. I'm in the 10th grade now. Can I apply for next year? 10th grades, could you remind me, please, how old is a student in the 10th grade in Russia? 16, excellent, yes. So absolutely, yes. So as a 16-year-old, you will be able to apply for our A-level program. So even if you are 16 going on to 17 in this academic year, students can actually begin A-levels at the age of 17 as well. That is completely possible. So yes, that's absolutely possible to join an A-level program. So as I mentioned previously, you would choose the subjects that you're interested in. So 4 subjects. And this would help you with your application onto university following this. At this age as well, there is also support for students looking to apply for university. So we have a dedicated team that assists students in university applications, the application form, the interview, all these different aspects as well. So yes, yes is the answer to that question.